Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another Storytime video. You may be noticing that I am definitely making a lot more Storytime videos right now, and it's honestly because I enjoy it so much more than biblical analysis. I think for me, I love the Bible. I read the Bible 3 times a day, but I just love personal testimonies. It feels more just to the core, to the heart. And when I hear personal testimonies, I feel like it impacts me a little more than just people reading the Bible. Not saying the Bible isn't great. You guys should read the Bible, and I do love it, but I just have been taking advantage of not having a series right now, wrapping up the 12 video series of Ecclesiastes. If you haven't watched that, you should definitely check it out, about life actually being purposeful, not meaningless as it seems. And it's just kind of amazing. So you probably clicked on this video because of the title, right? My story of Christianity from when I was a young child to now being 16, going to junior year, and kind of the ups and downs and how I got to where I am today. So starting off my journey honestly was pretty easy. I'm going to be honest, compared to other people, because I grew up in a Christian household. Both my parents, Christian, my sister, who's 3 years older than me, Christian as well. And so I grew up in a Christian household. And I know that so many of you guys don't have that, and it's so hard because either your parents are atheist or maybe agnostic, and you just don't really know. You never even heard about Christianity, and that's totally fine. This is a great place to start, great channel to start and just see some videos. But, I was fortunate enough to have 3 Christian members of the family. And so I grew up Christian. It was kind of not a decision I made. It was just kind of me assimilating into the culture, I guess, and just becoming part of, the parent household, the Christian household. And so, that meant that I grew up in Sunday school, right? Hearing the amazing stories of Noah's Ark and the Prince of Egypt, right? The Exodus, and Samson, the super strong guy, as you may know. And so I kind of grew up just hearing the stories. And, when you're a child, it's very easy to believe in God, and because you believe in Santa, you believe in the Tooth Fairy, you believe in all these different things. And so I had this, I like to say, unwavering belief in God. And that was kind of my story for ages up to 10, because I would go to church. People would ask me if I was Christian. I'd say yes. I wouldn't read the Bible at home. I wouldn't pray at home. I wouldn't really do anything Christian, but I was still, going to church and raised in a Christian household with the ideals and practices of that. And, one of the things that's kind of funny is I actually was kind of a rebellious son up to age 10. I had a lot of emotional issues. I was very angry, and I just let out my rage way too often on my parents, on my friends, on my teachers. And, funny story, just to get a personal anecdote, Brandon, I actually met in kindergarten and preschool, and we were both so rebellious that there was just a single class size, because he was a very small school, Los Altos Christian School, highly recommend. But because we were so rebellious, they made 2 classes. They literally split a class in 2 because we fought so much every day and went to the principal's office every single day. If you don't believe me, ask Brandon. So that's just a little funny story right there. But it was crazy. But anyways, I would, again, just kind of be a regular person. I wasn't really impacted by God too much, if I'm being completely honest. Again, I would hear the, golden apple stories, the most fun and interesting ones, and I wouldn't really dive deep into the Word or talk to God. But that shifted in middle school. So at the time, after elementary school, I was going to a Catholic elementary school, and, no diss to them, but I just didn't really get the Christian experience, because if you were a Christian at a Catholic school, you wouldn't be able to receive communion. You just kind of felt a little bit separated from everyone else and that you couldn't participate like everyone else. And so that was kind of hard, and COVID was really difficult because church wasn't as meaningful. I wouldn't really go to Sunday school. I'd have to listen to the big sermon. And if you've ever experienced going into big church when you're younger, it's pretty boring. And so my Christianity, my faith kind of shot down during the time, and I struggled a lot. I really wasn't a good kid. I was lazy. I was cursing. I was just doing bad things, right? But when I got into middle school, it kind of changed because COVID had lifted up so we could go to school. And I was going to a Christian school now, King's Academy. I definitely recommend. I love them. They're forever in my heart. And, I had just amazing role models, people who loved me and wanted to talk more and just dive deep into the faith. Like, shout out Mr. Negretti, Mr. Bridges, and Miss Miller, my 6th, 7th, and 8th grade teachers. I mean, they were just amazing in building who I am today and talking to them about the faith and they're incredible people, absolutely incredible people. And, the big change that kind of started the whole spiral into falling deep into this relationship with Christ and the faith was 7th grade. So, as some of you might have seen on the channel, I had an eating disorder, and that was early on, August and September. But coming out of the eating disorder, there was this trip called Hume Lake, and it's basically just church camp. I don't know if you guys have experienced that. If you have not, you are missing out on the experience of a lifetime. I promise you, that is not an understatement. And I went to Hume Lake, Ponderosa Lake, I think, and I felt God in my heart for the first time in my life after hearing all these stories, after watching all these, crazy videos about God and people's testimonies and being like, why isn't that me? Why am I not getting this or that? Because some people have some crazy testimonies about, whatever. But anyways, I felt Jesus in my heart, and it was not this one-time thing. Like, I felt him all week long. I couldn't believe it, and I was just like, when I go back, I have to be different. I have to be changed, because a lot of people, when they feel Christ, if they have an experience like this, which truly is the most, bewildering feeling in your life, a lot of people just forget it, and they go back to their sinful ways. But coming back from Hume Lake, I just kind of felt different. I felt like I wanted to be closer to God. Now, that didn't mean I gave up all my sinful natures right away. I think it's a great reminder that even though we're getting closer to God, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's just going to change overnight. Our habits, our sins, right? At the time, I was still cursing. I was still struggling with lust. But slowly but surely, as I just really leaned into God, I was able to overcome all these things, and I was becoming more righteous and more godly. Almost, I was seeing changes almost every couple months, and it was amazing. And going into 8th grade, I really felt the shift. I had stopped cursing at the time. I completely never did any lustful things again. I had, gotten over that. I was kind of being a mentor to some people about Christianity. I was starting to read the Bible more. I was praying more. And that just kind of exponentially grew in high school. Going into freshman year, I continued that. I went to Christian club at Mountain View High School, where I go now. And I just started growing the faith. I started talking to more of my godly friends. We started this word of affirmation every day, where we would just send these godly reminders and helpful reminders to our group chat. And then sophomore year, it picked up the most. I was reading my Bible 3 times a day. I was praying so much. I was praying for miracles. I was getting miracles on my life and healing. And I joined Christian Club. I took over our FCA, Fellowship of Christian Athletes Club, as now I'm president, and it's just been amazing. And but here's the thing I want to just zero in on before I go further. just because I got to the place where I am now, that does not mean it's easy. I promise you guys, there's too many things for me to go over to make in one video or a series of videos. My life has been up and down, right? I almost died when I was 12. Okay, recently I actually had the car accident that you can see on the video. My life has been crazy. I've not just magically gotten blessed. The prosperity gospel isn't real. I'm not going to tell you your life just magically gets better. You're going to, dominate in your sport. You're going to go to the college you want. That's not what happens, right? But I will tell you will have fulfillment and happiness and joy and peace, because that's the truth. God is something that is supernatural and is just something that takes over your life, and you just become fulfilled, because the material things aren't actually what brings fulfillment. It's just God with you and living with him. And so, it was just fantastic. I mean, I've just grown so much, and you will too, right? When you accept Christ into your heart, again, it's not going to be overnight that you give up all the things you're struggling with. And maybe you're not struggling with a lot of those things, but you're just not a Christian yet, and that's totally fine, right? You can give your life to Christ today like that, but giving your life to Christ isn't as easy as giving up your desires of the flesh. But yeah, I wanted to share kind of my story, my journey. If you have any questions at all, please leave a comment below. I'd love to answer them. And, everyone's story is going to look different, right? You could be dying. You could be in the hospital. You could be playing your sport. You could be taking a test. I don't know, right? God's will be done. I have no idea what's going to happen for you guys. But I just want you to know that everyone's story is different, but everyone's story looks to the same person, Jesus Christ, who died on the cross for us. And no matter where you are, no matter if you're doing great things or horrible things, God is there for you. And he is stretching his arms wide open for you to enter into the kingdom of heaven today. And so I just really thank you guys. I know this was a longer video, but I thank you guys for watching to the end. And I'm praying for you guys. If you have anything at all, comment. If you want to, be a little more personal, you can email us at twobrosministry@gmail.com and just reach out with any problems or issues. Brandon and I would love to pray for you. But again, thank you guys for just staying to the end. I am praying for you, as I mentioned, and I hope God is blessing you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.